social spaces where people of different denominations of queer, and especially different generations, where older and younger people can get together, engage with queer culture and swap questions and indeed answers, talk to each other. So that's what this evening is all about, and it's called the VITO Project because the first movie that we screened was The Celluloid Closet by the great Vito, that film which looks back at queer cinema history but also connects with the queer present and asks questions about the queer future. The evening that we have put together is really simple. Every month, two people talk about the film very briefly, introduce it, talk about it from their personal perspectives. Then we watch the movie, then we have a short comfort break, and those of us who want to stay and sit around, and we talk about the movie, and I'll be helping to chair that. Tonight's movie is The Crime Game, and tonight it's going to be introduced by the very lovely Seán and the very lovely Michelle. Seán is part of ACT UP. There's a longer story than that, but that will do. And Michelle is co-founder of Clinic Q, which is the sexual health clinic and wellbeing clinic for trans people in the centre of London. And so, with no further ado, I'm going to ask Michelle, first of all, could you speak briefly about the movie and your love of the movie? Anything you'd like to set our thoughts racing for the evening? And then Seán, and then we're going to watch the movie together. And thank you all for coming, and welcome.
I'll briefly touch on what the experience was like of watching the film with Seán, and then Seán's going to talk a bit more about a little bit? Okay, fine, a bit. But we're going to keep it very brief, and then we'll talk more after the film as we show it. So it's very, with the generational aspect, of the intergenerational aspect, I remember when the movie when it was released, and how I view it now is in a very different context. And Seán, you were about one? Or something like that?
I wasn't one, I was a little bit more than that.
Okay.
But I wasn't old enough to see the film anyway.
Okay. So do you want to say something about the movie?
Well, Michelle and I watched this on Monday night, and we really enjoyed it. I think the very strong gin we poured before may have actually contributed to that. But we decided actually not to spend much time talking about the film before we see it, apart from saying that we both really enjoyed it, and we both had a lot to say afterwards. Mostly I was trying to contrast maybe Michelle's attitude to when she saw it originally and when she saw it now. And what we were both surprised by really was how much of the film resonated with us today, thematically and politically. And I think what's really interesting is that in this film there's two kind of adjacent themes that run side by side. And there's definitely enough to talk about in various different ways. Once the film's over, we'll do it.
And that was really interesting, that being able to talk about it afterwards in that way, about those two different things.
And that's all we're going to say.
Thank you both very much. So, this is The Crying Game, first released in '92, bombed in this country, then did really well in America after a fantastic marketing campaign, nominated for 6 Oscars, all the 6 biggies, and won Best Original Screenplay. If any of you are friends or fans of Sadie Lee, who runs the Queer Perspectives event at the National Portrait Gallery, she tells me she's an extra in one scene, so watch out for Sadie Lee. Enjoy the film, and we'll talk about it later. Thank you.